right, Dub Nation, finally some movement, and this time, it actually feels real. For weeks, we've been circling the same rumors, the same speculations, and honestly, the same frustrations. But now, the Warriors are making a move that could truly shift the direction of their offseason. And it's all tied to one name, Jonathan Kuminga. Now, no, he hasn't signed that qualifying offer just yet. But here's the big news. Golden State has reportedly lowered their asking price in sign-in trade talks for Kuminga. And that might not sound like a massive headline, but trust me, this is a real turning point. Because up until now, the Warriors have been stuck, frozen, paralyzed by their own demands, mainly tied to draft compensation. But now that they've pulled back on that front, things are starting to thaw. And let me be real with you. This should have happened weeks ago. The insistence on heavy draft picks was killing any momentum. Teams weren't biting. Everyone knew Kuminga had value, but they also knew Golden State was asking for too much. So all summer long, it felt like the front office was just watching the market pass them by. Free agents gone. Trade opportunities missed. Other teams getting stronger, while the Dubs stood still. But now, that wall finally has a crack in it. Lowering the draft pick demand changes everything. Because now teams can build offers around real players, guys who can help right now. And that's exactly what the Warriors need. They don't need more someday assets. They need bodies. They need depth. They need rotation pieces who can actually contribute if this team wants to compete in what's shaping up to be an absolutely brutal Western Conference. And yes, I know, we've already talked about a handful of potential destinations. The Kings, the Bulls, the Suns. Those are the obvious ones. But I think the shift is going to bring new teams into the mix. Think about franchises who were previously hesitant, maybe because they didn't want to give up future picks. Teams like the Heat, the Sixers, maybe even the Lakers. All of a sudden, they're in play. The Celtics, too. There's even been whispers about a potential swap involving Derek White, though I gotta say, I'm not sold on that one. Look, Derek White's a solid guard. Great defensively. Smart decision maker. But that's not what the Warriors need right now. You've already got Steph Curry. You've got Chris Paul, at least for now. You've got Podziemski developing. What you don't have is size. You don't have rebounding. You don't have that physical presence inside that can handle the bigs of the West, the Jokic's, the Gobert's, the Aytons, the Sabonis's. That's where the focus needs to be. And that's why, in my opinion, the Suns' offer is still the best one on the table. Even after all these weeks. Even now that the Warriors are apparently open to more discussions. Phoenix was ready to give up real pieces. 3 second-round picks, sure, but more importantly, Nick Richards, Royce O'Neal, and Ryan Dunn. That's a package that makes sense right now. Not in some distant future. Not 5 years down the line. Today, Nick Richards might not be a flashy name, but he fits the mold of what the Warriors desperately need. A rim protector, a rebounder, a guy who knows his role. He's not going to demand the ball. He's not going to clog up the offense. He'll do the dirty work, grab boards, defend the paint, set hard screens, and keep it moving. That's exactly the kind of presence that can take pressure off Draymond Green, who's 35 now and can't be expected to bang bodies every night against 7-footers. We've already seen what happens when the Warriors try to go small against elite bigs. It doesn't work anymore. You need muscle. You need length. And Richards gives you that. Pair him with a veteran like Al Horford, and now you've got something. Horford gives you the floor spacing. Richards gives you the toughness. Draymond gives you the grit. That front court rotation, not bad at all. Then you add in Royce O'Neal. 6'6", 3-and-D, experienced, battle-tested. This guy's a perfect fit for the Warriors system. He defends. He shoots threes. He plays with intensity. You put him next to Steph? Beautiful. You put him next to Wiggins? You've got 2 switchable wings who can guard multiple positions and hit open shots. It's not just about stats, it's about trust. Royce is a guy you can trust in a playoff series. You need that. And Ryan Dunn, look, he's a bit of a wild card. Still raw. Still finding his identity in the league. But he's got potential. He's a versatile forward with energy, length, and a defensive mindset. If there's any team that can unlock his upside, it's the Warriors. He doesn't need to be a star. He just needs to contribute in small bursts. And with the way Steve Kerr likes to run things, there's always room for a high-motor guy off the bench who can make an impact in spot minutes. And let's not forget those second-round picks. Are they going to change the franchise? No. But with the Warriors currently lacking future second-round assets, having 3 extra picks in your back pocket is huge. Whether it's using them to move up in the draft, stash international prospects, or sweeten the pot in future trades, those picks matter more than you think. So when you add it all up, Richards, O'Neal, Dunn, and the picks for a guy who's about to sign his qualifying offer and possibly walk away next summer, that's a no-brainer. You make that deal. You take the value. You reset, and you move forward. Now, of course, the Bulls are still lurking. And I know some fans are intrigued by what Chicago could offer. The name that keeps coming up is Kobe White. Solid player, good scorer, but he's on expiring contract. And the Bulls have their own mess to clean up, especially with Josh Giddey's restricted free agency hanging in the air. They've offered him $88 million over 4 years, and honestly, that feels low. He's young, he's dynamic, and if Chicago pairs him with Kuminga, that could be something real. Imagine it, Giddey at the 1, Harrow at the 2, Kuminga at the 3, Patrick Williams at the 4, and Vucevic anchoring the middle. That's a playoff lineup. Maybe not a contender just yet, but definitely a team that can compete. The Bulls could take that swing. But again, it depends on what they're willing to give up now. Expiring contracts are nice for cap flexibility, but the Warriors need more than just financial relief. They need impact. And here's the clock. The Warriors have until October 1st to finalize something. That's the deadline for Kuminga to sign his qualifying offer. But internally, there's talk that they want something done before training camp. That gives them just a few weeks to lock in a deal and avoid starting the season with this cloud hanging over the roster. Because right now, the depth chart is thin. The roster's incomplete. They've got maybe 9 solid players, 10 if you squint. That's not enough. And adding guys like Richards and O'Neal doesn't just fill gaps. It gives you room to chase other veterans on minimum deals. Think about names like Malcolm Brogdon, Seth Curry, maybe even Ben Simmons if he ever figures it out. These are guys who can contribute in a limited role, and they're available. And what's important right now, what really needs to be emphasized, is the urgency behind all of this. We're not just talking about a trade that could improve the roster. We're talking about the window, the one that's closing faster than anyone in the Bay wants to admit. Steph is still playing at an elite level, but he's 36. Draymond is 35. Klay has clearly lost a step. This team doesn't have the luxury of wasting another year, hoping the chemistry just magically clicks or waiting for young talent to finally pop. They need to be aggressive, and for the first time this offseason, it finally feels like the front office gets that. And look, even with Kuminga's upside, even with his athleticism and potential to be a real two-way force in this league, it's clear that the Warriors don't see him as part of the long-term plan. If they did, they would have extended him already. They wouldn't be dragging their feet with this qualifying offer. They would have built around him, featured him more last season, made him a central part of what comes next. But that didn't happen. He was frustrated with his role. He saw his minutes fluctuate wildly. And it's obvious that both sides are quietly ready for a fresh start. That's not an indictment on Kuminga. That's just how things go sometimes. The fit didn't click. And when you're trying to chase titles, you don't have the luxury of waiting for development to catch up to expectations. Kuminga's timeline doesn't align with Steph's. And that's okay. But now it's time to move forward. And here's where things can get tricky. Because the longer Golden State waits, the more leverage they lose. If Kuminga walks next summer, the Warriors get nothing. 0. No picks. No players. Just a big hole where a top 7 pick used to be. That's why this has to happen now. Not October 1st. Not a week before training camp. Now, because the longer this drags on, the more awkward it becomes in that locker room. The more it affects chemistry. The more it turns into a distraction. This team needs clarity, needs purpose, and they need it before the season tips off. And let's be honest, this has already gone on too long. Every day you delay, you risk pushing Kuminga closer to signing that qualifying offer out of frustration. And once he signs it, that's it. He's a lame-duck player for the entire season, walking in an unrestricted free agency with no guarantee you'll get anything back. Now, imagine trying to make a playoff push with that looming over the team. Every press conference becomes about Kuminga. Every road trip is filled with rumors. Every bad game becomes, is Kuminga checked out? It's a circus. You don't want that. That's why the smart move is to re-engage with every team that showed interest this summer. Phoenix, Chicago, Miami, Boston, maybe even some surprise teams lurking in the background, waiting for the right moment to pounce. Everyone knows the Warriors are finally open to real conversations now. So call them up. Ask what's still on the table. See if they got new offers. Because even if it's not the Suns deal, there's value out there. You just have to take it. And you know what makes the Suns deal even more attractive? It's balanced. You're not taking back bad contracts. You're not locking yourself into deals that stretch into the next rebuild. You're getting solid players on reasonable salaries who fit your system and complement your core. And that is everything right now. Look at the numbers. Kuminga wants something close to $30 million per year. That's a massive chunk of cap space for a guy who's still trying to prove he belongs as a consistent starter. But the return from Phoenix, Nick Richards, Royce O'Neal, Ryan Dunn, that adds up to around $17 million total. You're saving money, you're keeping flexibility, and you're still getting better. That savings lets you go shopping in the free agent bargain bin. And this year, that bin actually has some gems. Malcolm Brogdon, solid veteran, tough, smart, unselfish. He gives you quality minutes at either guard spot. Seth Curry, instant offense. One of the best pure shooters in the league. He knows the Warriors system. He's played in big games. He won't shy away from the moment. Al Horford, veteran leadership, playoff experience, high basketball IQ. He's not going to give you 30 minutes a night anymore, but you don't need that. You just need 20 solid minutes from a guy who knows how to win. Ben Simmons is more of a wild card, sure, but if he's even 70% of what he used to be on a minimum deal, that's worth a shot. Low risk, potentially high reward. Because Dub Nation deserves better. STEPH deserves better. The whole Bay does. We've seen what this team can be when it's locked in, when the pieces fit and the chemistry is right. So let's get back to that. Let's stop waiting. Let's stop hoping. Let's start doing. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NBA, whispers have turned into deafening chatter. Luka Doncic, the Slovenian sensation, is reportedly leaving the Los Angeles Lakers and heading to the Golden State Warriors. Sources close to the matter suggest that the deal, while not yet officially confirmed, could be one of the most explosive trades in recent basketball history. Fans and analysts alike are scrambling to make sense of the implications. According to insiders, negotiations have been heating up behind closed doors for weeks, with Doncic's representatives seeking a situation where the young star could both shine individually and contend for a championship immediately. The Warriors, known for their star-studded roster and high-octane style, seem to fit the bill perfectly. Imagine Doncic running pick-and-rolls with Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. NBA Twitter is already exploding with hypothetical highlights. The Lakers, who recently invested heavily in assembling their own super team, could be facing a major shakeup. How could Los Angeles replace a talent like Doncic, who has consistently dazzled with his triple-double performances and clutch plays? Rumors hint at a complex trade package in the works, possibly including draft picks and multiple players, though details remain murky. For Lakers fans, this potential departure feels like a dagger in the heart, while Warriors supporters are dreaming of a new era of dominance. NBA insiders caution that nothing is final until paperwork is filed, but the buzz in sports circles is palpable. Speculation ranges from immediate impact on the Western Conference standings to broader ripple effects across free agency and future trades. The thought of Doncic in a Warriors jersey has analysts debating defensive strategies and offensive schemes at every talk show and sports podcast imaginable. While the NBA season is still in full swing, this rumor has injected a dose of unpredictability into the league. Will the Warriors truly pull the trigger? Could Doncic's arrival finally cement them as the ultimate dynasty? Or will the Lakers strike back with an equally shocking move? One thing is certain. The NBA rumor mill has never been hotter, and fans everywhere are glued to their screens, waiting for the official announcement that could rewrite basketball history. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.